I only have 3 words for you. Do it now. I was planning to film this video at home, but I have to run some errands and I'm running late. So I figure I will take you guys with me and still share the information that I wanted to share in this video. And this video is all about talking about the different stages of womanhood, I guess. I don't know how to call it. Different stages I've been in my life, and how do you figure out the best stage in order to move abroad. So I've been single and child-free, I've been married and child-free, and now married with 4 kids under the age of 12. And through these stages, I've lived different life experiences, obviously. But when it comes to moving abroad and making a leap, like moving abroad, like leaving your country to go to a different country, I've done it when I was not married and didn't have any kids, and now about to do it at a different stage of life with 4 kids and a husband. And there are some realities that are there's some challenges. Okay, let me just say that there are some challenges, but there are also some advantages for each of these stages. So let's start with the first stage, which is my current stage, which is the stage of being married and having kids. And I know that a lot of women are in that stage. A lot of women who watch my channel are in that stage where they feel like we're seeing a lot of single women take the leap and just go out there, and you feel like it's not really possible for you. I was watching Glow Atanmo's video on that. It was a message actually for single women mostly, and she had a disclaimer. She was saying, yes, if you're a single woman, this is for you, and if you're not, I'm sorry, but this message is not really for you. But still, there was somebody in the comment who said, well, this is easy to say. What about us who have kids and parents and responsibilities and money's tight and all that? And again, you know, it's like you give the disclaimers, but there's still people in the comments who will be like, oh, what about me? I understand it. And that's why in today's video, I wanted to share 3 different stages of life that I've been in, and how moving abroad, how you can approach moving abroad, whether you're in the 1 phase, the 2nd phase, or the 3rd phase of life, because there are, like I said, advantages and challenges in all of these stages. So let's start with the first one, which is married with kids. All right. So there are a lot of advantages when it comes to moving abroad with a big family, with a spouse, and with kids. One of the advantages is financial, because you're not the only one who has to bring in money on the table, but your spouse is bringing in money as well. So you have less pressure to bring in all the money on yourself, but you have a spouse who can bring half or even more of the finances onto the table. So that is a big advantage. Another advantage when you're moving with a family is that in terms of decision making, you are not making all decisions on your own. And if you're a person who is having a hard time making decisions, this is a great advantage, because you have the support of somebody else who will bounce ideas with you and who will help you process your thoughts, and you are not making a decision, like a life decision, on your own, but you have a partner who can, you know, at least, you know, you have that support and you're not doing it on your own. In terms of logistics too, when you are moving with a whole family, it gets a little more complicated, because you're wondering if you need to pack toys for the kids and more clothes for the kids, and it's just more stuff. Even if you want to do carry-on only, there's just a few things that the kids would need that you just want to make sure that you have. And so it's just more stuff, and you're also wondering if you have to ship things with you or pay for extra luggage and all of that. And those are things that you have to think about, and additional expenses that you have when you have children with you. Another thing too that is a little challenging is deciding on the destination itself, because When it's just you, you're like, okay, you know what, let me go and try it. But when you have kids, you have many more criteria to take into consideration.
Yes, ma'am. This is small mozzarella sticks.
Yes, can I get one, please? I don't usually get Sonic, but they have a special on mozzarella sticks, and I am craving a little something before the kids get home, so why not? And so another thing that I was talking about when it comes to destination, and there are more things that you have to take into consideration when you're traveling with kids. So allergies and education, and if you have a child with special needs like I do, what kind of support will be available? It's not just you leaving and then, okay, see you later, but there's a lot more. Hi, and you?
Oh, there's 270.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And also because you have that fear of being homeless when you have kids. Like you have that fear of being homeless when you're by yourself too. But I think with the kids, it's just that fear is just like a lot bigger because it's not just you. It's like, okay, the kids, right? You don't want to put them in such a situation. On the other hand, what are the advantages of moving with your kids and your spouse? Well, like I said, you're not the only one making decisions. It can be exciting. You are going to see your kids grow up in an environment that is enriching. They'll get to learn a new language too, more than likely. If you're going to a country where English is not the main language, they will also grow up in a safer environment, safer than here in the US. Thank you so much.
There we go.
All right, you too. If you choose to go to a country that is majority black, well, the fact that they can grow up in an environment where they learn about Afrocentric culture, that is also a major plus. Slower pace of life, healthier food, living in a community that is more family centered as well. That is also a major plus when it comes to moving with children. I rarely drink soda, but on the rare occasions that I do, it's always orange Fanta. Always. So I am waiting for the bus to come, for the kids to come, so I'm going to continue my video. I think I have about 10 minutes before the first bus comes. So talking about some other advantages of moving abroad with a family with kids is that you have more affordable and easily available help for the house and also for the kids. So childcare, house help, and things like that. It's a lot more available outside of the US at a more affordable price. That's what I'm trying to say. Stronger family bonding, more time with the family because again you have that support as well in the house, and also because it's less rush, let's go everywhere fast. All right, so it's a slower pace of life, and so with that being said, you have more time to enjoy your family, enjoy your kids, and all of that. And another advantage too, mostly for people who are introverts like me, is that you will naturally make friends because of your kids' activities. Like maybe it's your school, or maybe it's like when they go to soccer, so you'll make friends with other parents because your kids are engaging in all these activities. So naturally you're going to expand your circle, your social circle, in a very natural way. Now let's transition into the next category, which is women who are married and child-free. So this is even easier. This is even easier because you're in the honeymoon phase. Like with my husband, when we just got married and we didn't have kids yet, we would travel all the time. We would just get up and go. There are challenges though in that phase because you still have that partner. You still have to make sure you're in alignment with your spouse, and specifically when it comes to careers and timelines. So maybe your spouse is ready to go, but you're not ready to go. Maybe you are ready to go and they're not ready to go, right? So finding that balance and the best timing for both of you can be a little bit challenging. Another thing when it comes to timing, and for women, if you want to have children, is considering that quote unquote biological clock, right? And wondering, okay, do I want to get pregnant now? And if so, then I'm going to give birth abroad, and in which country, and what type of healthcare is available. So making all these calculations in your head in order to be ready for the time you want to have children. So that's another challenge to put into the equation, because you do have to take that into consideration if you are interested in having children. So there can be a little bit of loneliness as well, because like I said previously, a lot of the social circles are built around your kids' activities. But when you don't have children, you have to be more intentional into building these social circles. So maybe going to the gym, maybe going to the movies, maybe going to interest type of club like book clubs, or things like that, cultural activities. So you really have to put yourself out there in order to make friends, right? And it can be very lonely as well, because you're not busy with kids activities, like with family activities. So you have more time to think, and also more time to realize that you are without your family, that you are miles and miles away from your parents, your siblings, your circle of friends. So that's definitely a challenge that I added to the list. However, a lot of advantages again, right? More flexibility, because it's just you and your spouse, get up and go. There's more of a sense of YOLO, like let's do this, we only live once. And you have more time together to enjoy, again, those honeymoon years. Whether you've been married for 10 years or 2 years, it's really great to have that time together. Also, in terms of safety, you're never alone, so you have your spouses there physically with you, so you don't feel like you have to go places by yourself. So you have a sense of safety, of guidance. If you don't have a very good sense of orientation, for example, with your partner who has maybe a good sense of orientation, you kind of help each other out with your weaknesses. These might be his strength, and so on, right? So it really helps you to also have some downtime, because you're not busy with kids, right? You have downtime to build a business, for example. This is ideal for digital nomads, because you have the support of a spouse. Maybe their salary is still coming in, or maybe your salary is still coming in, but at least you have that support where you're not by yourself. You're not building a business on your own. You have that even more moral support, right? That encouragement from your spouse with you. And it's a great time to experiment as well for business, or things that you just want, like you're just passionate about or just curious about. And because you have time, money, why not, right? This is a great time where you have the opportunity to even experience luxury experiences. Like with kids, sure, you could, but it's not like a weekly thing, right? It's not usually a weekly thing to have luxury experiences with kids, mostly like younger kids. But when it's just you and your spouse, I mean, yeah, you can absolutely do that. All right, last but certainly not least, this is for all my single women, child-free women. This is my advice for you. Just do it. Just do it now. That's all. I don't even have to go into the reasons why you need to do it. Just do it. Here's the bus. Actually, fun fact about Orange Fanta when it comes to communication in a new country. So the first year I was in the US, I went to the movie theater with some friends, and I wanted to order a drink, and it was HIC. And I said, "Can I get some hick?" And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Hick, this one." And they're like, "Oh, high C." And I'm like, I still don't even know what it's called. So yeah, when you move to a new country, you're going to make mistakes and sound ridiculous sometimes, but that's okay. So what are the challenges about moving abroad by yourself that you might have if you are a single woman with no kids? Safety, of course, because you don't want to be walking down the street by yourself in certain areas, so you might feel a little nervous about the idea of being all by yourself. That's one concern. Another concern is the fact that you have to come up with all the money by yourself. So there's no spouse, there's no boyfriend, there's no support. It's just you coming up with the funds. When it comes to applying for a visa, for residency, or anything like that, is your bank account. Is no common bank account or anything like that. It's just you having to come up with all the funds by yourself. So it's a lot of pressure on just you. Also, obviously, when you're doing it by yourself, is family pressure. A lot of family members will not understand what you want to do, and they will pressure you to change your mind, to do something different. Or maybe they will remind you that you need to get married and to have children and all of these things, right? All these societal expectations on women, right? And that's a lot of pressure to receive, right? And so that is another challenge that you will have when it comes to deciding to move abroad as a child-free single woman. And obviously the loneliness, because you're by yourself. You are going into a new destination, maybe you don't know anybody there, so it's even more challenging to make friends because you don't have that support of a spouse or even circles, social circles from your kids that are like naturally become your friend circles. You have to be really, really intentional to go towards people and to make new friends. I remember two instances when I was really, really intentional about making new friends when I just arrived here in the US. The first time was, I think I was in the laundry room of I think my apartment complex or something like that. And I saw an ad for people who wanted to practice their English. And I was like, sure, why not, right? My English was already good, right? I didn't have to take any English classes before starting my regular classes. But I was like, you know what? Why not? Let me go and make some friends. And I made some really, really great friends through that community. All it took was for me to call the number and to say, hey, my name is Linda, and sure, I want to talk and practice my English with new people. And that's all it took, is really me being intentional and say, okay, let me put myself out there and do that. And the second time was also my first year in the US. I believe it was before school started because I didn't know anybody. And I was staying with a friend from the grad school admission something. And in her apartment complex, I was just walking with my eldest brother who came to help me move and everything. And we heard some zouk music. If you're familiar with zouk music, it's basically music from the West Indies, the French West Indies. So it's very, very particular. So I knew that these would be French speaking people. And so what I did is that I just went and knocked on their door. And I'm like, hey, vous parlez français? And that's it. That's how I got introduced to a whole community of African students on campus. All it took was for me to take the initiative to go out of my comfort zone and say hi or call somebody or knock on the door. So you will definitely have to put yourself out there and take the initiative to put yourself out there and make some new friends. But these challenges pale in comparison to the many, many, many advantages that you will have by moving abroad as a single person, child-free person. Advantage number one, you can just get up and go right now. Like today, tomorrow, next week. If you have the money, you can get up and go. The thing is that we overthink the whole thing. We think about the residency and the citizenship and don't even think about all of that. I think this is the best time for you to just enjoy your life and do it now. Like, do it fully. My single child-free years were some of the most enjoyable years of my life, for different reasons, but mostly because of freedom. You get to do whatever you want to do. Like, you don't have to answer to nobody. You don't have to check with anybody. You're responsible for your own choices. Sometimes very irresponsible choices, but it's okay. You'll survive. At the end of the day, these are the years where you can really fully enjoy your life without depending on anybody, without anybody depending on you. So it's also a time where you don't really need much financially. So yes, the burden is on you to come up with the money, but at the same time, it's not a lot of money to survive as a single person. Like even if money is tight, guess what? We've all had cereal for dinner or lunch and dinner and all of that, or even just pasta with butter. Why not? That's part of the adventure, right? And so when you're single, you can do that, but when you're married or when you have kids, heck no. I mean, sure, one time maybe, but not for like a whole week. And these situations, even though it can sound a little irresponsible and dramatic and scary, that's part of what youth is all about. It's experimenting, it's trying new things, and it's failing and trying again and all of that. These are the years you can do it because after that, you have more responsibilities. So, a lot of advantages of moving abroad right now as a single woman, child free. Do it now. So, let me know in the comments which category you fit into, single, wife, or mom.